Presenting Ideal's Robo Force. Max Steel, the leader, and the brave Robo Force warrior robots with crusher arms and gripper bases, each with their own special power. Together they battle the forces of evil, hunt Red the Conqueror and his fierce warriors. Journey with them to a whole new dimension.
If you dare!
Hey folks, this is Largo, and welcome to Largo's Lair. Today we're going to talk about the Nacelle Robo Force. It's a new line that has been inspired by a line that came out in the 1980s, and sounds pretty good. I've always been a big fan of robot toys, whether it's, something like Sparky here or Robbie the Robot from Forbidden Planet, but my all-time favorite is this guy. B9 from Lost in Space.
Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Danger, danger, Will Robinson.
So, when I heard Nacelle was going to put out a new robot line, I checked it out. I went and looked at their preliminary designs and decided to go ahead and do a pre-order. And that pre-order has arrived. So, let's go take a look.
Okay, so here are the two new Robo Force members from Nacelle. We have MAXX89, who is representative of the original Max Steel, or Max Zero as he was known in a later toy company's iteration. And then we have Wrecker, who I don't believe has ever been remade since the original design. So before we get into the robots, let's look at the bonus items that came. Because I ordered this as a pre-order 2-pack, I was able to receive a very cool Robo Force t-shirt that features the original Max Steel and his write-up, which was on his original box. Very cool. The other bonus was some very nifty puffy stickers that I definitely remember as a kid. These were very popular, definitely on everybody's Trapper Keeper notebooks in school. And so we have the RoboForce logo, and we have the original designs for Max Steel and the good guys and bad guys from that 80s line. So, not bad. Alright, let's get started with Max first, since he is the leader of the team. We've already seen the front of the box. He's number 1 in the series. MAXX89 is his new name, and there's some really cool art on the back. So we've got a new write-up, which is based on his original write-up, but kind of spruced up for the new storyline that Nacelle is telling. And really, really cool artwork, not only for Max himself, but a teaser for Wrecker. So, not bad at all. Pretty much same thing there, and just gobbledygook on the bottom like you normally see. So before I go into the rest of Max's articulation and accessories, I need to point out something that's kind of a fail for me. I like the gimmick of the suction cups. That was a big selling point in the 80s. And if, and it is a big if, you can get him to grip onto something, then it should help with the posing. You would think with these big wide bases he should be able to stand pretty well. But there must be some kind of trick to it, because the suction cups actually make him very unstable. It makes it really hard to get him to stand up on his own. He's a chonky boy, so when he falls, he's going to take most of your shelf with him. So, I'll tinker with him a little bit, but at this point, right out of the box, it's really hard to find a pose where he can stand on his own. I'm assuming I'm supposed to find somewhere where the suction cups can hold him down, but he's so heavy, I just don't see those suction cups being able to hold the weight. Maybe I'm wrong, but something to look out for sure. So we've got Max propped against his box for the moment until we can figure out a way to get him to stand. But let's go over some of his accessories. He comes with an alternate hand that has a wicked looking claw on it, Unfortunately, the hands are not articulated. They're very similar to what they were in the original 80s line. They're just a clamp, and you can put some accessories in the clamp, but you're not going to be able to open and close it. So this will go on to his hand, or his wrist, I mean. You can pop out the hand that he comes with, which is just your standard claw, which will hold the weapon he comes with that I'll show you in a moment, and replace it with his Sunday go to meeting stabby kind of hand, which isn't bad. Looks cool. Definitely will be neat for doing some toy photography where he's beating up some other guys. So there's that. He comes with a really cool sci-fi blaster, and they actually did a really good job on the detailing. It has kind of a bronzish to gunmetal silver patina kind of look. Very, very cool and detailed. And it looks like a freaking cannon on the back. Looks like he loads up quite a heavy armament with this thing. You could probably even find some kind of a blast effect that would fit in that front end. And that will fit in his claw with a little bit of jiggery pokery. It's not easy. Might even be easier just to take it off and then work it with a little bit of effort and possibly some heat. Yeah, there we go. So the claw holds it fairly securely, and yeah, it's not going anywhere. Pop the claw back on, and now he's got big blaster and stabby bits. He also comes, as you can see from his packaging, with some other tentacle type accessories that have some additional sensors and weapons of some sort. So what Nacelle has done is they've added some ports. There's a port here, there's a port on his shoulder, and I'm assuming from the package art, yep, there's a port right here on the side. I don't know how well you can see that. And that's it. So 3 ports and 3 accessories. So let's see if we can figure this out. This looks to be going on the shoulder, and it is a tight fit, but it does have kind of a slot that it goes into, and a little bit of persuasion, and again a dose of heat gun. I think that'll fit in there nicely. It's super tight, and it does look cool for having that extra shoulder mounted cannon kind of thing going on. We've got a sensor of some sort, or possibly something that is for fans of hentai. I'm not sure. Let's see. That looks to be the one that goes in the side, and they're not rounded ports. They're actually kind of squared off on the edges. And again, whoops, these are not posable. There's no wire inside. The pose you get is the pose you get. So maybe again, if you heat them up and you tweak them, you can get some kind of posability, but they don't appear to be designed to move around too much. The shoulder one again is a very tight fit, and it's going to need some persuasion to get in there and stay, which I'll have to do off camera when I can tinker with it more. The last one is a sensor of some sort, and that ports into his back like so. Again, tight fit. It is posed and does not have any kind of bendy wire inside, which is kind of a bummer. It does look cool when you get them all on there, except this one, it doesn't really seem to be going anywhere the way it's bent, and it doesn't appear to have any kind of movement, so I'll have to tinker with that and see what we can do. And it does not appear that having those accessories make his balancing act work any better. Makes it worse. Makes him much more ungainly to hold his pose. So This guy is definitely going to need a figure stand and or something. So don't expect this guy to stand on his own. If you put him on the shelf, he's going to wipe out somebody somewhere. So, what do I think of Max? I really like him. I think the attention to detail is there. The sculpt is beautiful. The articulation for a robot is really good. They did some ball joints where they need to be, so I can get some great posing for toy photography. I like him overall. He looks cool on the shelf. The colors are great. The detail is great. Are there some problems with it? Yeah. But Nacelle is a young company when it comes to action figures. They're still learning. As far as the joints and articulation, I think they've really nailed it. But the suction cups, guys, that's a no-go. They do not work. I took mine off, and he poses just fine. I don't know if it's the type of plastic that the suction cups are using, or if it's just the fact that the figure is so heavy. Lose the suction cups, leave them in the box, and you'll be a lot happier with this toy. Would I recommend buying Max? Absolutely. If you love robots, if you love sci-fi, or if you're just a fan of Robo Force from the 80s, he is a great upgrade to the original Max Steel. MAXX89 is definitely a keeper. So, let's go look at his brother, Wrecker. Okay, here is Wrecker. The box is pretty much the same as what we had with Max, so I'm not going to go into much detail on it. I do like the design. It's clean, it lets you know what you're getting, and I like the fact that you have an open display, unlike some other companies recently that are just throwing everything in a very boring box. He is number 2 in the series, which shows on the side, and he's got a really great bit of artwork and a bio card that tells you a little bit about the character, plus the little teaser for Max. So, that is the box. So, out of the box, I'm really liking this. First impressions, pretty cool. He is a bit heavier than Max because he comes with 2 giant accessory arms and a weird bouquet of flowers. So, maybe he's a lover, not a fighter. I'll have to read his bio and find out. We'll look at those in just a second. The design, again, really great attention to detail. I love the colors on this guy. Very bright yellows and blacks with a little bit of coloring to bring out the highlights. Kind of a black wash going on. And he's got a sticker, just like his buddy, to show who he is. And it's kind of a throwback to the original Wrecker design from the 80s. And that face. Look at that face. I love this guy. Alright, so that is how he looks. Again, the suction cups we're going to have to play with to see how he does. So let's look at his articulation. So, Wrecker's got really good articulation, just like MAXX. Good elbows. He's got some sort of ball joint in the shoulder, which gives him great range of motion. You know, he's a robot, so he's not going to have human-like articulation, but for what he has, it works. And one difference I see with Wrecker, he has a big pneumatic jackhammer on one side, and on the other side he has a claw that will actually open. So this one is articulated, unlike MAXX. The knees go back and forth to help with positioning for getting him to pose. There's a ball joint at the hip, so he can move around really well. Unfortunately, for some reason, maybe because of the size of his arms, Wrecker does not have a waist swivel, which MAXX did. But, you know, that's not a deal breaker. And just like with MAXX, we have ports for his accessory bits, which in his case are 2 more construction arms. So we'll take a look at those. See how that's going to fit. He has 4 accessories. This giant piece on a chain, which I'm assuming is some sort of a weapon. I don't know. And a hook. Kind of like a crane arm. And of course, is a lovely bouquet of flowers. So, let's see about getting these onto the figure. So it looks like we have these are a little bit different. They have kind of a hexagon shape, so you can actually pivot them. They're not fixed to one position. It is kind of an odd fit. I don't know, it doesn't go really deep, and I would be worried about twisting those. I think that plastic might break, so I'm going to have to be gentle with those. And let's see, fit them in there like that. Nope, the other way. Okay, looking at the box, I get the idea that the arms should go out like that. But it looks like you have more options and flexibility with how you put these on for Wrecker, whereas MAXX, those pieces pretty much just fit in the ports they were designed for. So this one's more of an either or. Great detailing on these arms. You've got some silver highlights for the mechanical bits that would allow them to move if they were real. I like the chain. It's a big, thick chain. It is made of plastic, but it definitely gives the illusion of metal. And it is on both sides. So he's got dangly bits. Nice. So he's got a bit of bling. Again, because of the suction cups, he will not stand unless you put him on a surface where the suction cups will adhere. Which of course I don't have for my review purposes. But overall, he's just got a great look. I think I like him better than MAXX. He's got a little bit of a neck pivot, so looks to be a ball joint. You can get some really good movement, and his bottom jaw piece is also hinged, so you can have him do a little bit of animated conversation there. Kind of a trap jaw kind of look. So, hello my baby. Yeah. So, that is pretty much the movement on this guy. As far as the accessory articulation, we've got the same problem that we had with MAXX. This is a molded piece. There is no articulation where you would think it would be. So these arms can't be moved around. I don't know if that was a cost-saving measure or it just couldn't be engineered. But as far as the look, it definitely achieves its purpose. It's obvious that this guy was meant to do some heavy construction of some sort. And according to his bio, he is a jack of all trades, hence the jackhammer. Bad dad joke. But yeah, I think he is definitely a really good design. So let's see what he looks like in some toy photography.
Like the only way to hard way. We don't like the only way to soft ways. We like the only way to hard way. I like the only way my hard way.
Breaking news, folks. According to a January 10th article by Deadline.com, RoboForce is getting a new TV show. They're in development right now, and Nacelle has released an image that includes a couple of new characters. Hopefully we'll be seeing those in the next figure line, and they will definitely be in the new cartoon series. When it's going to be released, we don't know. There is an article linked in the description of this video, so check it out for yourself and stay tuned. Okay, that is my review of RoboForce. I want to thank my co-host, the annoying rooster next door, and I want to thank all of you for taking the time to watch this. If you have any comments or suggestions for future videos, please leave them in the appropriate spots. And have a good one. Thanks for coming to Largo's Lair.
Oh, by the way, if you do have an interest in the original Ideal Robo Force line, you want to know more about it, RetroBlasting did a fantastic 2-part retrospective a few years back, and I will put a link to that in the description below, because obviously those guys can talk about it a lot better than I can.